play brought to you by Land Rover. The finale between the Dodgers and the Cubs after a drama-filled doubleheader yesterday. Ground ball past a diving Bryant and down the line. Barnes is in to score. Turner's given the wave. He'll score without a throw. And down to their final strike. The Dodgers have taken a 4-3 lead. It's Kyle Farmer coming through. Cubs win 2-1 in 10 innings. These two teams split the doubleheader. Rubber match tomorrow. Standings look like this for these two favorites in the National League. The Dodgers a game and a half back of the Diamondbacks after they lost by a run to the Angels last night. The Cubs within a half game of the Brewers entering today's ball game. We're glad you're here with us for it. Joe Davis or Hershiser. Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. And so a lot of drama in those games. And on the scoreboard, it looks like a pitcher's duel. But you dive a little bit deeper. And the story of the day was missed opportunities for these teams.
Yeah, it could have been a sweep for either side, but it ends up in a split. And the reason is because they really couldn't get anybody in. Runners in scoring position, both teams struggled. Left on base, both teams struggled. And especially on the Dodgers side, when you think about getting the leadoff man on 13 out of 19 innings and only scoring 5 runs in 2 games, that's a tough day.
And that leads to it looking like a pitcher's duel. We really may have a pitcher's duel in this one, though, with 2 of the top guys in the National League this year. Ross Stripling for the Dodgers and John Lester for the Cubs.
Both guys are leaving a lot of guys on base. Also tough with runners in scoring position. And the other part of this day is very tough, is the wind blowing in again at Wrigley. Home runs will be at a premium if you can get one. But these two guys, as hot as they are, both looking like all-star selections this year. Who's going to stay on a roll?
All right, let's go down to the field, brought to you by El Pollo Loco. Here's Alana.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. A very right-handed heavy lineup, as you would expect, against the veteran left-hander in John Lester. The only lefty in the Dodgers lineup is Max Muncy, a guy who's making it very difficult to take him out because of the way he's swinging the bat. He's at first base. Cody Bellinger not in the lineup today. Dave Roberts saying it's just a day for Cody, coupled with the off day tomorrow. He's going to face the lefty in New York and Vargas against also 2 righties, guys.
All right, Alana, getting close to the first pitch on a nice day in Chicago. It's cool again as the Dodgers and Cubs get ready to wrap up this series from Wrigley. SoCal Land Rover retailers. Wrigley Field in Chicago are just about set for first pitch now between the Dodgers and the Cubs. Final of the 3 games this week, but just getting started between the teams over this 10-day stretch where they'll play all 7 of their regular season meetings. Joe Davis, Or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. Your day's off to a great start in Los Angeles or wherever you may be. It was 97 degrees when the teams got together on Monday night. It had cooled off to the mid-70s by the time we left Monday night. Yesterday was jacket weather, and today is what, again, high 60s, getting close to 70 with the fog rolling in off the lake.
The jacket weather again, and the wind is blowing in, so we have a chance to have a great pitcher's duel.
With 2 great pitchers going at it in John Lester and Ross Stripling. Here's the lineup for the Dodgers that'll try and solve John Lester today. Chris Taylor's at the top of it for Dave Roberts. Then Kike Hernandez in center. Justin Turner hits third, plays third. Matt Kemp in left hitting cleanup. Logan Forsythe quietly lately has been really good. He's at second. Muncy starts at first with Bellinger getting the day off. As Alana told you, Muncy the only left-handed hitter in Dave Roberts' lineup against Lester. Then Grandal, then Puig. John Lester, 34 years old now. He's from Tacoma, Washington originally. Really good numbers. That ERA top 5 in the National League. Especially good at home. Especially good lately.
Yeah, lately. Last 7 starts, 6-1 in the loss. He lost 1-0. An ERA under 2 in those last 7 starts. And you said better here at home. Well, with the wind blowing in, I think these Dodgers are going to attack him early. Early in the count, John Lester, the batting average against is .354. After that, .154. So watch out. You got to get him early, and I think these Dodgers will be on attack.
And the defense around him, as we've seen in this series, is elite. It's brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC, #1 in the majors in defensive efficiency, which is much simpler than it sounds. It's just the ability to turn batted balls into outs, and they do it at a higher rate than anybody in baseball.
They're a lot of fun to watch. They're very athletic. They have great range. That's how they turn those batted balls into outs, and you will see some spectacular plays, not only from the Dodgers, but also from the Cubs.
The Dodgers, the National League best, 12-4 in this month of June. Cubs right behind them over the last month or so, although this last week and a half they've hit a bit of a slide. The Cubs 4-5 in their last 9 games. 4-3 in game 1. 2-1 loss in game 2. Just like you expect when these 2 teams get together. Rematch of the last 2 championship series. Maybe a preview of another. We're ready at Wrigley, and off we go with ball 1 from Lester. Taylor had 2 hits in the nightcap last night after the scary moment in game 1 when he was hit in the helmet by Tyler Chatwood. 1 ball, 1 strike.
John Lester equally good against lefties and righties. So then how do you make your lineup against them? Well, the Dodgers put mostly right-handers in there. Going with who individually as Dodgers hits lefties best.
Thirteen-year pro, 4th year with the Cubs. 6-year deal that he signed. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Taylor wincing after fouling that one off himself.
Just above the ankle. Remember where you get shin splints? Oh, that's not sensitive at all. One of the worst parts for circulation in your leg and a lot of nerve endings.
We've all done it in the middle of the night, getting up to go to the bathroom, coming back and hitting your shin on the nightstand or the edge of the bed. How about fouling a 95-mile-per-hour pitch off of that spot?
It always amazes me that they get back in the box with pain. They're just looking for enough function to hit. It's a pretty good feeling as a pitcher when a guy fouls something off of his foot or his toes, because you're like, I know he's not at his best right now. And I always used to kind of feel bad for him and throw the ball right back in the same place.
And so by feel bad for him, you mean no mercy. Bulldogs
Exactly,
coming at you.
Exactly. Oh, down in curveball, you fouled it off your foot. Let's see, go after this one.
Two balls and two strikes on the leadoff man, Chris Taylor. Back comes Lester. And the count goes full. Dodgers unbeaten in their last 9 series. Trying to keep that rolling today in this rubber match. Taylor making Lester work to open the afternoon.
Still dealing with pain, but good enough to not be distracted and be able to hit.
Another payoff. And another foul. Now Lester started his career in Boston, won a couple world championships there. Then to Oakland for a short time. And now in the 4th year of his 6-year, $155 million deal with the Cubs. Taylor drives this ball to right center field. The wind knocking it down some, and just enough for Elmore to catch it. On another day, that's a leadoff home run for Taylor. Yeah, that's what Elmore's reaction says.
This ball is crushed. It's at least off the top of the wall, probably in the basket, but no, not today. And not yesterday in game 1 or game 2. We've only seen what, the 1 home run by Jock Peterson.
And even that, even though it was crushed, barely made it into the basket. Kyle Schwarber had the home run
on the other side of the equation.
Kike Hernandez, who has homered against Lester twice in his career, looks at a strike.
Schwarber's was hit down the right field line when the wind had died down a little bit, and the wind was probably helping the ball a little bit to right.
That tied the game at 1 yesterday. Cubs eventually won 2-1 in 10 innings. Well, on a day where both teams struggled miserably with runners in scoring position, I guess it's not a surprise that the game the Dodgers homered in, they won. The game the Cubs homered in, they won. 2-1. Anthony's 2-2.
Dodgers looking to beat the Cubs in this series. They could win 9 out of 10 series. The other one was the split with Philadelphia if they win this game today. Cubs, what, 8 out of 10 if they win today?
Couple deep counts against Lester so far. 2-2. A couple full counts against John Lester, whose numbers are very good, as we've detailed, but you dig a little bit deeper and he's been far from dominant.
Strikeouts aren't 1 per inning, 15-20 less than innings pitched.
Good take from Hernandez and a walk.
Walks like that are happening about 1 every 3 innings, really a little bit more than that. So he's pitched in some traffic.
And then 2 statistical categories that a lot of times can make your radar say maybe a little bit of good fortune going on there. First one is his batting average on balls in play is extremely low, and it's way lower than his career number, which would lead you to believe there's some good luck going on. The other one is runners are getting on against him. He just has one of the highest left on base percentages in baseball. He delivers ball 1 to Justin Turner and shoots a glance at the home plate umpire Chad Whitson. sometimes when you see those numbers, you say, okay, well, is that because he's inducing very soft contact? Is there another layer to it beyond the good fortune? Not necessarily in this case. It's pretty average contact.
Yep, everything has been pretty much the same across the board, other than those categories that tell you maybe he's pitching in good fortune, some more atom balls, great defensive efficiency behind him. He's also eliminated the stolen base a lot more this year. Back in 2015, he first became a Cub, gave up 44 stolen bases. This year, only 5 so far.
New thing is he bounces his pickoff throws over there on purpose. Turner hits a fly ball to right. Hayward to the edge of the warning track, and that's a couple of balls that would have at least probably been extra base hits that wind up being outs for Lester in the first.
It's such a slim difference between a line drive and a hard fly ball. Such a slim difference between a line drive and a hard ground ball. How can you try and guide it to beat the wind?
Matt Kemp 0 for 7 in the doubleheader yesterday, which included an ejection. He was one of 3 Dodgers ejected from that first game by Tripp Gibson. First it was Kemp, then it was Dave Roberts trying to protect Matt Kemp, and then a little bit later on it was Yasmani Grandal. 1 ball, no strikes. Voting update is out, and he's extended his lead on that 3rd spot. He's a starting outfielder for the National League. 2-0.
When I look at the voting updates, I always then check the people that like Matt Kemp is battling or someone else and seeing if that team was on a homestand, and that's why you got a boost in coverage or votes, or were they on a long road trip, and that's why the gap spread. It all balances out at the end usually.
Because when a team is at home, you usually get the promo push.
Yep, the big promo push. More stuff going on as far as fans coming to the park, getting on their phones and voting.
That's what he's doing. Putting his vote in for Ross Stripling. You can't vote for Ross Stripling, but you know what I mean. That's it. Then he's 3-1. Kemp 3rd in the National League with a .327 average, even with a relative slump over the last 10 games. Sitting pretty here at 3-1. And lining a ball to right for Jason Hayward. That's that for the Cubs in the first. Lester puts up a 0 despite being less than efficient. And now it's Ross Stripling trying to continue his stellar stretch, facing one of the National League's top lineups when you come back. Cubs against Ross Stripling. On the first pitch, a base hit to left. Fourth hit of the series for Bryant. Opens the day up against Stripling, who got his 6th consecutive win against the Giants on Friday and his 3rd in the majors with that 1.76 ERA.
Why is Ross Stripling so good now? Well, fastball command is much better as a starter. The off-speed stuff, as far as the movement, it's sharper. And because he's out there longer and developing a feel for his game and his pitches, he's using his changeup more, and that's really helped him a lot.
Starting against the Cubs for the first time, Jason Hayward looks at ball 1, but has dominated them in relief over the years. The 1 for 21 in his relief appearances. The Cubs offense overall about 5 runs per game. That's good for 2nd in the National League. But like the Dodgers, slumping over the last week or two. Off speed for a strike, 1-1. Something he does more than anybody. Ross Stripling's fastball percentage is under 40%. It's the 2nd lowest for any starting pitcher in baseball. Here comes with a 1-1. And another off speed pitch floating in there with a changeup, 1-2.
Ross has always been cool, calm, and collected. Very thoughtful person. Everything he does. And of course, including pitching. Doesn't ever let the emotions get the best of him. Talk about both these offenses slumping. If you're going to play in this weather, this wind condition, your offense isn't going to look very good at all.
While slumping, you mean?
Yeah. I just think it's very hard to score runs here. And the wind is blowing in.
On a 2-2, Hayward swings, pulls it sharply, a diving stop by Turner. He gets the out at 2nd. Wow, what a play by the shifted Justin Turner.
Looked like his tires spin out a little bit on this as he goes to dive. Doesn't get that extra boost from the ground, but amazing baseball clock after the great hands to make an awkward throw for somebody who's used to throwing across the diamond with everything in front of him. Has to throw behind him, and accurately there to Taylor.
1 on 1 out. Nobody in scoring position thanks to that play by Turner, and Ben Zobrist comes up and takes ball 1. Reflection of where the game's at now. The third baseman makes a diving play where the second baseman normally is and then stays there for the next batter to come up. That's why it was over there, though. 1 ball, 1 strike.
All 4 of the Dodger infielders can play any 4 of the positions.
Yeah.
With Muncy out there at first. It's not like Bellinger being a left-hander. The Dodgers decide to leave the left side of the infield all to Taylor because of his range.
2-1. There are still a small faction of people, I think, that look at the shift and roll their eyes and don't like it. But the whole point of the shift is using the information available to you to maximize your chances to produce outs. Check swing on a pitch that finishes just low, and it's 3-1.
Same way you study pitch location as a pitcher of how you're going to attack a hitter. You know, you don't face everybody and go, okay, low and away, up and in, breaking balls for strikes. Don't give them too much good to hit once you get ahead. No, you study where their holes are and you try and attack it. Well, they're plugging holes out there.
Hayward at first, one out, and a 3-1 to Zobrist is hit foul, and it's 3-2. Zobrist 37 years old. He got off to a very good start this year, but in his last 15 games hitting just a .184. Cubs a half game back of the Milwaukee Brewers, who've been in first place most of the season. A lot like last year over the first half. Hayward takes off, and that works well. Headed for third is Hayward, and he'll get there without a throw.
I think it'd be an interesting study to look at shifting when the wind is blowing in this drastically in a series. Do veteran hitters, do hitters default to then I'm going to beat the shift because the ball in the air to their pull side where they normally are, and those ground balls are over there into the shift? Do they default to I'm going to take a shot at the big hole because there's not many hits in the air to where I normally hit the ball for strength? It looked like Zobrist right there in his last two swings, the foul ball and the base hit, he was shooting for the left side.
First and third, one out. Rizzo, ground ball to second. Forsythe goes to second, one. Back to first late. The Cubs get the game's first run. They sit a little bit too softly. Hayward in to score, and it's 1-0 Chicago.
The Cubs produced this run. Good at bat by Zobrist, beating the shift with a little punch ground ball and then a weakly hit ground ball, and good hustle from the left-handed hitting Rizzo to beat this out. Not your sluggard of a first baseman as far as getting down the line. A very good defensive first baseman and an athlete that can beat that out.
Kind of stuff you're going to have to do on a day like this here.
I really do believe it, that that's the way to win in these conditions.
Albert Almora, a hero in game 2 last night, punching a base hit to right. Top 5 in the majors over the last month and a half, hitting .360. Nice looking curve, 0-2.
It's the pitch that Ross has really tightened up as far as the arc. When it leaves its hand, it's flatter. And it's bigger break when it breaks.
And then gets him with a high fastball. It more closely resembles that now that he's timed it up and is throwing it harder. First inning run allowed this year by Stripling. On to the second. Subject of our Land Rover Performance Spotlight. In his last 8 games, hitting .391, and that includes the first 3-hit game of the year for him last night.
Not only does it look like Logan is letting the bat go a little bit more, it looks like he's trying to meet the ball a little bit more out in front of home plate instead of tracking it so deep. And in hitters counts, we're seeing him cut the bat loose. 2-0, we saw it yesterday. A lot of times when he gets in hitters counts, he was still being patient and maybe even looking for the walk.
Smashes this one and a bounce to Baez, who's got time to show off that gun. 1 out. Playing short today, Addison Russell getting the afternoon off. 1 away in the second, and up comes Max Muncy. The only left-handed hitter against John Lester, and you see in yellow one of the reasons why. It's actually been better as far as the batting average goes against left-handed pitchers. Strike 1. Strike 2. Pulled by the bag. That's a fair ball that ricochets off of the sidewall. Don't go get it. The ball girl is going to get it, and it didn't have an effect on the play. Muncy's into second with a double. That was almost a really embarrassing moment for that young lady.
Sure would. It would have improved the Cubs' defensive efficiency. An extra fielder. Max Muncy comes up, gets in the lineup, is hot, stays hot, find a way to get him in there, hits for power. And he's also got a great 2-strike approach.
He's got the first hit of the day against John Lester, and up comes Yasmani Grandal. Takes ball 1. And Lester, we were talking off of the top about how there may be a little bit of good luck in the underlying numbers. Not given anything up yet, but a few really hard hit balls that were caught. He's fallen behind a lot of hitters and has still been able to wiggle out. After falling behind Grandal, wraps in a breaking pitch, 1-1.
That's his first off-speed pitch for a strike. Thrown a couple of changeups, a couple of curveballs prior to that one. That's the first one he has gotten in the strike zone.
Another one. Tying run at second, 1 gone, second inning, and a 1-2 pitch. Lays off a fastball, and the count evens up.
Dodgers trying to change their trend with hitting with runners in scoring position. They're also trying to change John Lester's trend, which he's very good runner in scoring position, and #1 in the National League with left on base percentage.
Dodgers were 4 for 29 in these situations yesterday, and 0 for 1 so far today as Grandal strikes out swinging.
Off-speed pitch, he is out in front. Another one of those curveballs, but this one in the dirt that he gets chased.
Two out for Puig. Beyond the runners in scoring position issues, it's really ugly when you look at it with runners on in this series. Dodgers are now 6 for 55. Puig with a line drive to center. Almora makes a running catch, and despite some more hard contact, another 0 for Lester. The defensive spotlight today is brought to you by Keck Medicine of USC. Kike Hernandez with a start in center, and with a nice run of left-handed pitching the Dodgers are facing in this stretch. Kike is getting some good playing time, and with that run in playing time has started to produce more consistently.
He is exceptional in every one of those positions. It's not like a utility guy where you are good one place and can fill in others as an average guy. He is a very good glove man.
Kyle Schwarber to start the second for the Cubs against Ross Stripling. Gave up a run in the first inning, first one that he's allowed in the first this year. 1 ball, no strikes. Schwarber having his best season in his 4th year in the majors, and this comes after a 2017 where he was sent to the minors midway through the year. At this point last year, he was hitting 170. So they sent him to Iowa. He was swinging too hard, trying to hit everything 500 feet. He was a different guy after coming back. Still not great, though. He continued to make adjustments during spring training and has carried it on to this year. A curve for a strike, 2-1. He's another one of those guys that we've talked about in the Cubs lineup in this series, that it seems like they've been around a while, but they're still young, and it's easy to forget that because they've been here for a while. He's only 25. 2-2.
Like the Houston Astros, a young team also, but really powerful and athletic. Think about those guys when you think about mature big leaguers, but they're going to be around for a long time.
Stripling's 2-2. Taken in the dirt, full count. Besides hitting long home run, Schwarber also leads the team in walks. Also strikes out a lot. 3 true outcome guy. Homers, walks, strikeouts.
When he first busted onto the scene, I didn't think he was going to be that kind of guy. He looked like the kind of guy who get hit falling out of bed.
He takes strike 3 for the first out of the second.
He seems like a completely different hitter than I thought he was going to be watching him come up through the minors and first came to the big leagues. Powerful, yes, but it looked like he was going to hit for average too, and not strike out.
Yeah, it was 2015 when he came up and lit the world on fire. In the postseason, he hit 5 home runs for the Cubs, which was a big league record for a player his age. One of the home runs he hit landed on top of the video board down the right field line. Wilson Contreras with 1 out. Takes a first pitch slider a little bit low. They encased it up there in plexiglass, and I'm pretty sure it's still up there. That is a blast.
It sure is.
1-1.
I was commenting in my mind, nothing over the microphone, just staring out there.
Think about the one that he hit last night. I mean, that was crushed, and it was 15 feet short of the bottom of the board.
Yeah, and maybe even a little wind helping it. Yeah.
Stripling to Contreras. 1-2. A curve to finish him off. A 3rd consecutive strikeout.
Stripling all about execution, and boy does he execute that pitch. That's just gorgeous. Pitchcast says it ends up a ball, but it's a strike for a long time and lands right near the edge.
Rick Krajewski lets us know that they in fact took the ball down after winning the World Series. 2 out for Javier Baez. Ball 1.
Local Chicago guy, so he knows those little tidbits.
Knows all the ins and outs.
See how good he is in New York.
Oh, good luck. Put him on the spot. He doesn't function well on thin pizza. Curve ripped towards the left field corner. Kemp's not going to get there. Up against the vines. Baez with a 2-out double.
See the difference between that curve ball and the one that struck out Contreras. That one stayed up above the waist. The break's not as sharp, a little bit easier to hit, and kind of telegraphed when it's that height. All that said, nice piece of hitting.
2 out for the pitcher, John Lester. Set a major league record for the most at-bats to open a career without a hit, but has actually turned himself into a pretty decent hitter in the last couple of years. Quickly 0-2.
Pitchers that are described as pretty decent hitters are usually guys who give themselves a chance and look like they have a chance. And John does look like he's in a little better stance. We haven't seen him swing the bat yet, but he's balanced. Looks like he's tracking the ball.
Nobody covering third, and Baez takes advantage. 2-2.
A few more ways to score from third base than second base, of course, and also subtly might adjust the pitch selection from Ross Stripling. Staying away from the ball in the dirt with the pitcher up there.
Curve, it kicks away, and the Cubs have produced another run. Although they said that it was strike 3, they said that Lester offered, and the throw down gets him, so the run will not count. Joe Madden saying, wait a minute, you're saying that he went around?
Got a swing on the pitch.
They checked down to third, and it was Brian Gorman who said that he went around.
Joe Madden asked for a second check and got the call. Retreated back to the dugout.
Boy, on a day like this where runs very clearly are at a premium, a huge call there, and it remains 1-0. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
Well, back here in Chicago, and the Dodgers catch a couple breaks on that last play. Yasmani Grandal actually gets crossed up. Watch his glove go up like it's a fastball up. Now he goes down. He gets curveball, deflects off his right foot. He chases it down, records the out at first because John Lester was called for a swing on what looked like a check. But as the umpires called it and the Dodgers recorded it, it was the third out.
Yeah, and you're inclined to say they probably feel like they had a little something coming their way after the issues they had with the zone in game 1 yesterday. That is a big, big break right there on a day where one run very well made to cite it. Crew chief Brian Gorman down at third had the call, giving Stripling his 4th consecutive strikeout, and it is Ross to lead off this third against John Lester. He's in there with strike 1. There's so many things throughout a game, especially a close game, you can go through and say, if this or that. One that you mentioned when we got back to the hotel last night was, what if Rich Hill's ball down the line had been another few feet to the right and been fair? The Dodgers win that game on a Rich Hill double.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Rich Hill up. What was it, a 3-1 pitch?
Yeah.
Line drive from our vantage point up here. Looked like it had a chance to be fair. Ended up about 10 feet foul on the left field line.
Fly ball to right. Hayward near the sidewall. Scales it.
Ross Stripling heard us talking about it. Said, I'll show you one just like that. Rich Hill's was hit a little lower, a little harder. And I think you made the comment about this would be a great time for Rich Hill to rake.
Oh, yeah. Always a great time. Any day ending in Y. Boy, encouraging stuff from him last night on the mound, though, huh?
It was absolutely fantastic. Looked like he was trying to get his feet wet a little bit early. The fastball was the only thing he had command of. But then all of a sudden, after the 2nd inning, here came the curveball. And the combination of both made him dominant.
Stripling making Lester work. Seventh pitch. Another foul. Ross is somebody who is at the cage every day working on his swing. Pitcher's batting practice, which comes right before the position players hit. On a 2-2. Ground ball to third. Chris Bryant will throw him out. He forces him to throw 8 pitches to lead off the third.
It's a whole new ball game with RBI Baseball 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is now available. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone.
You a gamer?
Used to be when my 2 boys were into it, but no, not now.
Play a little Candy Crush.
Oh, yeah, that's just that mind-numbing stuff on the bus as we wait for the team to shower. I'll be giving away my secrets.
Second time through the order.
People are listening.
Chris Taylor takes strike 1. Are you ashamed of your Candy Crush?
A little bit. A little bit. Maybe not. It's really popular.
Own it.
All right. I love Candy Crush. It's my mind-numbing game.
1 ball, 1 strike on Taylor. Saw a bunch of pitches his first time and then crushed a ball that on a lot of days would have left the yard to center, but the wind knocked it down. Almora caught it. One of a few balls that was struck well against Lester that had some help from the wind from a Cubs perspective. 1-2. kind of the story with him most days. It's not like you're saying, wow, he's just mowing through a lineup, but you typically look up at the end and he's gone 7 innings and held you to a couple runs. Downhill with a 2-2. Full count. Got a bunch of those.
Pretty much a guy who pitches to contact now. He'll hunt the strikeout when the situation warrants it. Doesn't really have that put away pitch. Combination of things makes him very good.
Taylor hits this ball out of left center field this time. Almora's not going to get there, and it bounces up into the seats for a double. Well, right center didn't work, so he tried left center and got a better result.
He crushed both balls in these first 2 at bats. Gets a double here as we take a look at it on Carl's cam. Why does he get that double? Well, perfect placement. No steering wheel on the bat, but gap to gap, pretty good places to hit it.
Did you hear the crowd begging that guy to throw it back, and he's shaking his head saying, no, I'm not throwing this back. I came here to get a Chris Taylor double, and I'm leaving with it. 1 out for Hernandez. Looks at a strike. Not today, people. Not up in here. Not up in here.
With his Augusta Masters shirt on.
That's a bullet to left field. On a bounce, Schwarber's got it. They hold Taylor, and Schwarber's throw is spot on. Good decision by Chris Woodward. That ball was spanked by Hernandez, and so got there on the blink of an eye.
Well, if the scoreboard was keeping tallies on hard hit balls, John Lester would be losing. But the Dodgers are losing 1-0. The Cubs have produced a run with some weakly hit balls. The Dodgers have scorched the ball and have nothing to show for it yet.
Here's another opportunity. 1st and 3rd, and the right guy coming up in Justin Turner. Who had one of those hard hit balls, but it was caught on the warning track and right. Missed with a first pitch breaking ball.
Justin never in a rush, especially in these situations.
Gets under it to right. Hayward's got a good arm. Taylor's got good speed. Here they go head to head. Hayward's throw to the plate is in time.
Not only is it a strong arm, it's an accurate arm, and Chris Taylor, he can really run. The collision turns into an out.
5-time Gold Glover with a splendid throw to cut down Chris Taylor at the plate.
There's a collision here, a shoulder to the mouth. Contreras all excited about the out, and after the adrenaline runs off, realizes he got hit right in the mouth, and they are taking care of that now.
Top of the order for the Cubs, Chris Bryant singled on the first pitch of the day. Here he takes the first pitch for a strike. Hitting leadoff for the third game in a row for the 5th time this year. 412 out of the leadoff spot. Off the end of the bat, Hernandez in center. Here's Hayward, who gets a good hand from this crowd after his defensive gem. You can kind of tell that around here they really feed off of what's become part of the personality of the Cubs, and that is the defense. Curve for a strike.
They're not only good defenders, but they're not afraid to kind of rub it in. They almost have like bat flip mentality as defenders.
That's a great way to put it. Describe what you saw yesterday on the from first.
Ground ball up the middle. Baez, the second baseman, going to the left side of the diamond. Backhand throws back across to Rizzo. Rizzo then throws the ball across the diamond as the third out to Baez running off the field. Baez throws it to the center fielder over his back. The center fielder throws it over his back to the right fielder. The right fielder then throws it into the stands for a souvenir as they depart the field.
Showman. I think it's fun.
Well, Contreras, after getting hit in the mouth, called the trainer out. It was already 3 outs. They took care of him down the third baseline so the fans could see everything. And then when they say, come on in the dugout, he throws the ball out of the stadium.
Does it really clear the...
It cleared the roof. No souvenir.
Towering fly ball to center. The wind will blow this one down. 2 out. No souvenir for you.
The adrenaline from recording the out, getting hit in the mouth, and then wanting to spend some of that, he threw it past the fans.
2 up and 2 down for Stripling in the third, and the hitter is Ben Zobrist, who has one of the 3 Cubs hits today. His road trip continues on to New York after this. Team will get in tonight, have an off day tomorrow. And Ross, who is a certified stockbroker, is going to visit the New York Stock Exchange on Wall Street. He's got several interviews lined up, not job interviews, don't worry, he's not leaving. Just different interviews with people in that industry that are excited about a chance to have some crossover into the sports world. A couple podcasts, a couple on-camera things he's going to do.
I might have to stalk him.
Stalk, S-T-A-L-K or S-T-O-C. Had my coffee today.
Oh, you sure did, with a little shot in there.
Yeah, of espresso, Oral.
Oh,
Let's specify.
That's the way to come clean. I'll cover for you.
Dirt 2-2. I don't know with the renovations that they've done here. Is the players' parking lot still outside where he threw that foul ball?
Oh, like he could have hit somebody's car.
Yeah.
There's a dent on my Rolls Royce. Send the bill to Contreras.
They've slid it down a little bit, I guess, but that ball was headed for exactly where the players' parking lot used to be. Dobris hits it foul, still 2-2. At one point, when Steve Stone was the color commentator here, his foul balls sometimes fly out of the ballpark, but he got back to his car and found a ball in his car. It had gone right through the windshield.
Wow. That was a parking lot that was built for like 20 cars, and they squeezed like 27 in. They would actually have the cars where everything was blocked and congested like a jigsaw puzzle, and then as the players came out and they learned over the years who comes out quick, who comes out late, they would try and arrange the cars in a way that the guys that come out quick, they were near the gate.
Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. It's Stripling's 5th. Pitching well. He's given up 1 through 3.
Nothing Cubs lead. Ross Stripling, making his 10th start of the year, has given up just 1 run in 3 innings. Ross Stripling, the starter today. Let's look forward to the Mercedes-Benz pitching preview as we make our way to New York. Alex Wood is going to get the start in the series opener against Zach Wheeler. Then Caleb Ferguson making his 4th start of his young big league career. He goes on Saturday against the right-hander Jacob deGrom. And then Rich Hill making his 2nd start after coming off the disabled list. He will go up against the lefty Jason Vargas. Also another note for you guys, Chase Utley will be activated in New York against his favorite team, the Mets.
Yeah, and he's their favorite too. Valentine's, those two. Of course, pestered them for years as a Philadelphia Philly and has continued that since moving to the Dodgers. Offense trying to get going against John Lester. And really, that's not even the right way to put it. The offense just trying to cash in on opportunities. It's been the same story so far today. Matt Kemp hits the first pitch on the ground to third. Chris Bryant on the line makes the play.
Another nice play by Cubs defense. John Lester has given up some hard hit balls. That one was just a bounder, but right down the line. Beautiful range at both ends and sides of the diamond. Rizzo and Bryant.
One out for Forsythe. Dodgers are still 2nd in the majors in June in runs per game, more than 6 runs per game, but only 15 runs total over the last 6.
Number 1 Arizona?
Yeah, how about that?
Really, I should say number 1 Paul Goldschmidt?
Yeah, right.
He got hot.
Actually, the top 3 offenses in baseball in June, all in the National League West. Arizona, the Dodgers, and Colorado. It's in all of baseball. Wind continues to blow in. And Forsythe takes outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Two and two. After falling behind 0-2, Forsythe has worked it full. Lester just 1 strikeout. Only 1 walk, too. A payoff. And a foul ball. Lester coming off of what was one of his worst seasons last year. Had an ERA around 4.5. And that was after 2016 when he was Cy Young runner-up to Max Scherzer. 19-5 that year with a 244. Forsythe rips a base hit to left, and his hot hitting continues.
That's right where he hit it in his first at bat, but Baez happened to be there. That one, maybe 1 less hop. This one finds that 6th hole.
It brings up Muncy, who pulled one down the line for a double his first time. It's been so fun learning more about Max Muncy as his star has continued to rise, and more and more pieces written about him. More and more of his background comes out. Drives this ball in the air to center. It sends Almora back to the warning track to catch it. Yet another one dies in the wind. 2 out.
Taylor, Turner, Muncy probably all have home runs on another day. Dodger offense is a lot about the long ball, but that's going to be very hard to do in this series.
A guy who a year ago didn't have a team, Max Muncy, coming over from Oakland. Really coming over from his couch because Oakland released him. And that's where he was sitting when opening day happened last year, sitting on the couch at home watching all his buddies get introduced on the foul line, those opening day ceremonies. Grandal with 2 out, watches one miss outside, ball 1.
I so admire the guys that get that kind of rejection and the next day are back working out. Oh, I'll take a week off and think about it. No, get right back to work towards their dream.
He told Andy McCullough that it all kind of started with a text message from Farhan Zaidi, who he knew from Oakland. Farhan was in the front office that drafted him. Said, "You want a job?" Had an opening for him in Oklahoma City. That one lands for a strike, 1-2. Did well with that job opportunity. Best minor league season of his career last year. Parlayed that into a nice spring training with the big league club. I didn't break camp with the team. He was one of the people at the top of the list as soon as they needed someone. And you talk about taking full advantage of an opportunity. Look what he's done since he was called up. Still paying rent on a place in Oklahoma City, by the way. He had signed a lease through, I think, August. 2 roommates. He's held up his end. Didn't want to leave them hanging.
A lot of times you can sublease to the next guy who comes in and fills your roster spot. Got to be the same situation. A guy can't be married, or he's got to be single if that's what you are.
Fly ball down the line. Schwarber on the track. Handing over. Dodgers get a 1-out hit, but no damage against Lester, who knows that he's kind of walking a tightrope.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military.
To you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. Back at Wrigley, where Anthony Rizzo is set to lead off the bottom of the 4th with the Cubs in front 1-0. 28-year-old now in his 6th major league season. Facing Ross Stripling. Taking strike one over the outside corner. Rizzo initially a draft pick of the Boston Red Sox in 2007. And a few weeks into his pro career, he was 18 years old at this point. He was diagnosed with cancer. Boston flew him to Fenway soon after that to show their support after having drafted him. They introduced him to today's starting pitcher for the Cubs, John Lester, who was pitching for the Red Sox at the time and who had already beaten cancer himself. So those two developed a very close bond. He rips a base hit into center. But minutes into that first conversation, Rizzo passed out cold. Said besides not feeling well, going through some of the treatments, he was overwhelmed with the moment, being at Fenway Park, meeting Lester. They met again for the first time after that when they were both All-Stars in 2014. Cancer went into remission for Rizzo that same summer that he was diagnosed in 2007. And he's been cancer-free since. Two guys that developed a very close bond. And wouldn't you know, even though they were both Red Sox at that point, they come to Chicago and win a world championship together here. Rizzo runs on the first pitch, throw down in time to get him. Yasmani Grandal wipes Rizzo off of the bases, one away in the 4th.
Bang bang at second base. Logan Forsythe did a nice job getting the high throw down. Yasmani gets rid of it in a hurry. Strong throw, but a little high. And a very quick tag down there by Logan Forsythe. Accurate tag, too. You have to reach up, understand where you are in time and space to get the glove to the right area in front of the bag.
And 0-1 to Albert Almora. Curve that's tap foul. Or his first inning strikeout, one of the 5 for Stripling so far, who's not walked anybody. He's given up 4 hits, and the lone run came in the first. Cubs put it together with a hit and run, and then a fielder's choice bounce out. Got his bat on that one, but it should be an easy play, and is for Max Muncy. With the 5 strikeouts overall, 5 strikeouts, no walks for Ross Stripling. Since he replaced Clayton Kershaw in the rotation, his strikeout to walk ratio is 64-4.
Wow. It's not even close to the second in the league over that time frame. It's so far out in front, maybe 3-4 times better.
Yeah. Schwarber sends a high drive to center. Hernandez back, turns, watches it go. A mammoth home run for Kyle Schwarber makes it 2-0. That one pierced the wind. Started to party in that Cubs bullpen.
This is hit a long way. Not only literally, but then with the wind effect right into the teeth of the wind. And he still makes it easily.
That's unbelievable. Contreras, strike 1. 0-2.
Without the wind and where that ball was hit, that ball probably leaves the stadium.
Nobody leaves the stadium right there, but I'm with you.
You know what I'm talking about? I mean, seriously. It is right in the right place to not hit the video board where the camera wells kind of cut into the bleachers.
Contreras couldn't lay off. That's the inning, but the Cubs take a 2-0 lead as Schwarber homers. Now for our home field advantage, brought to you by Purple Bricks. Wrigley Field, which was named in 1926, although it was built in 1914. Fenway's the only one older. Scoreboard went up in 1937. It was originally actually a different color. It was kind of a reddish brown until hitters complained about the glare off of it, so that's when they painted it its current color, green. And that clock that's on top of the scoreboard was added in 1941. Legend has it that it's never stopped telling time. Yasiel Puig to start this inning against John Lester. On a day where Lester's not really fooled anybody, just one strikeout. A lot of hard hit balls, but nothing to show for it. 1 ball, no strikes. A lot of hard hit balls and a lot of deep counts. Puig with another hard hit ball. Deep in the hole, Baez. Wide throw pulls Rizzo off of the bag. And finally a lapse in the defense in a way, even though that's a very tough play. You kind of come to expect that they make it. A wide throw has Puig aboard, an infield single.
The length of this throw actually I think gets affected by the wind. Wind blowing in, the spin on that, because you drop down a little bit between the spin and going with the wind. Took it offline.
Got a base runner in every inning today. Stripling to bunt. Strike one. Ball one. He's ahead. Borderline pitch goes his way. Puig at first to start the inning. Stripling up there to sacrifice. Pulls it back, smacks a ground ball to second. Zobrist goes to second, one, but not in time at first. As Stripling reaches on a fielder's choice.
Took a shot. Zobrist had gone over to first base. Rizzo was still there at first base. You got a pitcher on the mound that doesn't like to even step off in John Lester or throw to bag. So Ross Stripling took a shot over there at that big hole. Didn't get it exactly in the hole, but still gets himself to first base.
Top of the order, here's Chris Taylor. He's crushed it both times today. Gets under this time. Zobrist making the call. 2 out. Hernandez been aboard both times with a first inning walk and a third inning single. He has the kind of raw power that could cut through the wind the same way Schwarber did. And has homered against Lester twice in his career. Runner at first with 2 out. Here's the first one. Ball one. Generous corner. A ball and 2 strikes.
Very generous. It's another one of those John Lester outings where he's just grinding it out. 5 hits, a walk, 1 strikeout, a lot of traffic. And he leads the National League in left on base percentage.
Bounce back to him. Getting over it. He's stranded 6 behind him today, halfway home in a 2-0 game.
Look at his off-the-field passion for stockbroking. Plus, Cody and Kike make a surprise visit to the family of a fallen U.S. Navy sailor. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the post-game show on Sportsnet LA.
2-0 deficit, and so far the same story. The Dodgers continue to put traffic on, but they're 1 for 11 today once they get a man on base.
If they end up losing this series in this game, it's going to be a very frustrating time on the plane flight to New York with the off day. But I'll tell you what, the offense needs to keep the ball out of the air.
Yeah, the wind has knocked down pretty much every ball besides the one Kyle Schwarber hit that somehow made it out of here, and that's accounted for one of the 2 runs against Ross Stripling, who has again been good.
Been really good. 6 of the last 7 runs scored off of Ross Stripling have been via the home run. 4 solo shots and a 2-run shot, and then that run the Cubs produced earlier on with that Zobrist hit and run.
8, 9, and 1 for the Cubs here in the 5th. Javier Baez to lead it off. Stripling's first pitch of the 5th is in there for a strike. On Javier Baez, who's going to become a father very soon. His fiancee, Irma Marie, is expecting a baby boy on the 4th of July. Oh my goodness, he chases the ball by his neck. He has the highest swing percentage in baseball. Neck might have been a generous way to put it.
He saw it well. It's right up there in his eyes.
Digs this one out. Deep left field, kept back at the track, off the wall. Shows both things that define him as a hitter right now.
Hard to tell a guy to zone a pitcher in when you can catch up the balls around your shoulders and dig them out when they're down around your shins. Just get flat out hit. I guess he thinks he's strong too.
I think so. Arm day maybe. So the leadoff man in second, John Lester, comes up. Lays the bunt down, foul. He is their best bunter. This time takes low.
When he wasn't bunting, the bat wasn't resting on his shoulder as Stripling was getting ready to pitch. I think he's giving it away early just by his approach. Let's see where he puts the bat as he gets ready here. The resting on the shoulder is not the way he hit.
Deadens this one in front of the plate. That'll advance Baez to third. Forsythe with the leaping grab.
Tight game, could end up being a one-run game. You really want to keep that runner from getting to third, so maybe you try and pick up a little bit of a tell on John Lester so you can play that aggressive bunt defense.
A different version of a pitcher tipping.
Exactly.
Bryant bats with one out and a man at third. Infield in for Dave Roberts. Rides inside, ball one. Strikeouts have gone up recently on Bryant. Boy, could Ross Stripling use one right here. On a 1-0, Bryant swings, base hit to left, past the drawn in infield, 3-0.
Double a sacrifice as we watch the Volkswagen replay of the hit that drives in the Cubs' third run. Drawn in infield, raises a batter's average over 100 points, but you need to risk that to cut down the run.
One on, one out for Jason Hayward. Most runs that Ross Stripling has allowed since his first start of the year on April 30th when he gave up 4 to Arizona. This changeup or this fastball misses down and away. 1-0. Swings away and drives the ball the other way. Kemp watches it hit off the wall. Played it cleanly, so Bryant stops at third on a ringing double from Jason Hayward.
Jason Hayward has made some adjustments, especially with his grip on the bat, which allows him to get through that and release the hands now. That upper hand of his on the left side of his body used to be kind of locked around the grip of the bat, but those were some free and easy, just a little flick out there to left field.
So the Cubs with a chance to break this game open here, especially on, as we've talked about, a day like this with the wind blowing in. Zobrist with runners at second and third and one out. Curveball grounded to the drawn-in infield. Forsythe comes home and they get him. Clean play. Forsythe to Grandal for out number 2.
Logan Forsythe today flashing the leather. A nice tag to cut down a stolen base attempt. Second base, and here with the infield drawn in, ball hit to his left. A couple of shimmy steps. Good, accurate, non-panic throw. Record the routine out.
Anthony Rizzo with 2 out. Brought home a run with a fielder's choice in the first and singled in the fourth. Strike one. Check out this defensive alignment.
It's interesting, especially there in right field.
That's hardly even short right. That's almost medium. 1-1.
And have Yasiel Puig right behind him. It's like, let's line up. Looks like they're getting ready for a cutoff and relay.
Rizzo hits a lot of line drives right there. Here he flies one lazily to center, and Ross Rippling, he gives up a run here in the fifth. Looked like it could be much worse and could have put the Dodgers in a really tough spot, but instead just 3-0 after 5. It's the Piggy Bank. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to get your tickets. Learn more about this. First 40,000 fans in attendance get one. 3, 4, and 5 against John Lester in a 3-0 game in the 6th. Strike one on Justin Turner.
You avoided the script on that promo. You didn't go with the tongue wagging Piggy Bank. You skipped tongue wagging.
I knew you'd fill it in for me.
I handed that one off to you because of that line. I wanted to hear you say it.
Tongue wagging Piggy Bank. One ball and 2 strikes on Turner. He's flied to right twice today. 0 for 16 lifetime against John Lester.
I want to say the Dodgers need to get something going, but they've pretty much done that the whole series. They just haven't finished.
Turner's worked it full. Kemp and Forsythe to follow. Lester home with a payoff pitch. Turner carves it out foul. Started one of the 2 games yesterday and extended his hitting streak to 6, and then off of the bench in the nightcap and walked. Here he leads off the 6th with another walk. Second one issued by Lester, the leadoff man aboard for the Dodgers.
Chip away, but do it quickly. Here in the 6th, time is running short.
Got a very good Cubs bullpen waiting for you, although Brandon Morrow, who we mentioned yesterday, was unavailable because of the tight back. This morning was placed on the disabled list.
That's a tough one when you hurt your back taking your pants off.
Yeah. A strike on Kemp. Oh, and 2. Lester back home. And Kemp watches that one miss outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Does have a home run against John Lester before. All right, now he's looking for his first hit of this series. 0 for 9 in these 2 days. On a 1-2. Fouls it off. Rare has there been a 10-game stretch like this for Kemp this year. He's below 200 over these 10 games. Any kind of slump has been very short for him. But I guess you could probably say that about anybody on that list that he's on, which is the top batting averages in the National League. He comes in 3rd. And a big part of that is avoiding the prolonged slumps, and he's done that. Turner at first with the leadoff walk. And now Matt Kemp on 1-2 takes it in the dirt, and the count evens up.
Lester's pitch count 92. 50% of his starts coming into this game. He's gone over 100. Twice he's gotten as high as 107. Joe Madden, I'm sure, wanting to get him through this inning. Brandon Morrow on the DL, trying to figure out who he would bring in from the pen.
Kemp smacks one in the air to right. Jason Hayward for the first out. And here's Forsythe.
Logan has hit 2 balls hard to the left side. One he snuck through for a base hit. Another one Baez at short captured.
Strike one. The Cubs in this game are kind of putting on a clinic for this climate, this type of weather day. Down the right field line, into the seats, combining really stellar defense, squashing any potential Dodger runs with the ability to produce runs, put together little rallies offensively. Key stolen base, key hit and run, some productive outs. Good stop by Contreras, 1-2. Got to figure, though, that's kind of part of their home field advantage here, is understanding when you walk into the park and see the flags like that, what that means for your approach that day, what's important that day.
I think it is a little bit. I think a veteran team like the Dodgers, I think they would understand how to play in these conditions. And, you know, they've won here. They won that last game of the NLCS, but that was a slugfest as far as what the Dodgers did.
Forsythe's worked it full. So maybe the better way to put it is you are well practiced playing in games like this here.
For sure.
When it's your home ballpark.
And when the wind's going to keep the ball in the ballpark, these guys, they catch a lot of balls put in play.
Turner with a good lead at first. Lester home with a payoff. Forsythe yanks one in the air to left. Schwarber's got it. 2 gone.
Another ball that's crushed by the Dodgers. Boy, they have hit some very loud outs.
One of the loudest came off of the bat of this guy, Max Muncy. Flied out to the wall in center. He's also doubled. As you were talking about with the pitch count, Lester nearing the end of the line. Here's his 100th. It's ball 1.
It'd be interesting. Joe Madden might run him back out there. He gets Muncy out. Might run him out there for 7 or 8 more pitches because of Morrow's absence, to try and milk another batter out of him. Yasmani Grandal would be the one coming up. He struck him out and gotten him to fly out to left. It's not like somebody who is seeing him well or had some production off of him.
But man, when you think of 6 or 7 shutout innings, this isn't what you think of, what John Lester's looked like today.
No, if you didn't know his pedigree and he had this kind of outing, you'd be like, well, we'll see if this can continue.
That's the 2-1 fly. Yeah, Muncy's ahead, 3 balls, 1 strike.
He's doing a good job this year of not letting anything spiral out of control. You know, as a veteran, as a guy who understands his mechanics, as somebody who has beat cancer, it's not like a jam is really going to make him melt down. He stays within his game plan and tries to execute.
Muncy with a walk, 2 on with 2 out. The tying run coming to the plate in the form of Yasmani Grandal. Action down in that bullpen. It's a Brandon Morrow look-alike. It's not Brandon Morrow. It's Anthony Bass. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, comes out.
Definitely going to leave John Lester in there, but this is out there to give Bass some time to warm up. Watching John stand in the middle of all those youngsters and Zobrist, and thinking about the way the Cubs go about their business with their athleticism and flamboyance. John's completely different when he stands on the mound as far as what he projects. He's all business and very conservative. He's not going to show anybody up with a big strikeout. He might yell a little bit into his glove if he gets mad at himself. He's got a lot of showmen around him on the field, though.
And he's got Grandal climbing in with 2 on and 2 out. Another chance for the Dodgers here. 1 for 13 with men on base today. 6 for 52 with men on base yesterday. Strike 1.
Turn this game around in a hurry with 1 swing, and I don't think the 1 swing should be the home run. That would be nice, but a gapper to score 2. Off with the crack of the bat.
Fly ball center field. Albert Almora handing over. John Lester able to complete 6 shutout innings. Parles Jr. and by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. John Lester, without being dominant, still able to put up 6 zeros and has a 3-0 lead as he gets ready to depart this game.
He battled, and he's been battling like that all year. Maybe not with that many walks, but boy, he got key outs when he needed it.
And Ross Stripling has not been bad, but he's given up the 3 runs and not gotten any run support. Pitches into the 6th, facing Albert Almora. Couple defensive changes. Cody Bellinger is in the game in center field. Kike Hernandez has slid to short. Almora bunts through the first pitch, strike 1. Wonder if that has something to do with the ball that Taylor fouled off his leg in the first at bat of the day. Anything I can think of.
It had me stumped until you mentioned that.
Flight off the end of the bat. Puig hardly has to move. 1 out. Brings up Kyle Schwarber and brings us to our Arco top tier plays of the game. He's homered twice in this series. Last night against Eric Goodell to tie the game at 1. And then today, through the wind, got it out of here by plenty to the opposite field.
That was an amazing blast. He hit that ball 109 miles an hour off the bat. The hardest ball hit this year in the big leagues is 114. And he crushed it.
Take strike 1 here. There are a lot of little stories about him, like we talked about the home run on top of the scoreboard. Just a little story about him on a day with the wind's blowing in, homering deep the other way. But the real legendary story of him is in the World Series season, where he missed that entire year, blew out his knee in the 2nd game, but returned for the World Series. First player in Major League history to get his first hit of the season in the World Series. Had a 6-month checkup on that knee about a week before the World Series. It was while they were playing the Dodgers in the NLCS. They said everything looked clear, so he took batting practice for the first time the next day. Unsure on that swing, 2-2. So this is now less than a week before the World Series begins. Goes to Arizona, plays in 2 fall league games, 2 sim games over the next week. Took so many swings that he developed blisters on his hands. Tracked over 1,000 pitches just simply watching him when his hands hurt too bad to take more swings. Takes high full count and then hopped on a plane. Private flight overnight to Cleveland. Over Monday night, arrived early Tuesday morning, and that night was in the lineup for Game 1 of the World Series, his first Major League game since Game 2 of the regular season. So that's one thing to get back and be in the lineup, but it's another to do what he then went and did. 7 hits and 3 walks in 20 plate appearances, and his first at-bats in 200 days.
I think his first at bat, he had a ground ball base hit up the middle, if I remember right. I remember it was a huge story what he did in that World Series.
On another 3-2 from Stripling. He swings and misses on a nice looking curveball. 2 out.
Ross Stripling has been effective, not as effective as he has been in his last few starts, but boy, he's done a nice job eating innings and keeping this game in balance. Just waiting and waiting for the offense to wake up.
He struck out Wilson Contreras both times today. 2 of the 7 total. Team flies to New York after the game, an off day there tomorrow, and then 3 with the New York Mets over the weekend. Alex Wood and Zach Wheeler on Friday. Caleb Ferguson, Jacob deGrom, who would probably be your Cy Young in the National League at this point if not for Max Scherzer, and Rich Hill and Jason Vargas on Sunday. Off the end of the bat, off of the glove of Stripling, but no problem. 1, 2, 3, 6. Then he's only thrown 84 pitches.
John Lester has benefited from the wind blowing in from center early in the game. Chris Taylor took him deep. That would have probably been a home run without the wind. Justin Turner crushed a ball. This doesn't make it out. Matt Kemp, the same result. You are not getting it out to right field right now. And then Max Muncy, this might have been the hardest hit ball of them all. And it just goes to show you what Schwarber did to turn this wind around. But Lester has pitched well, but it's mostly been a grind, and he's got an extra fielder. The wind coming in from center.
Joe Madden sending him back out there for the 7th inning with his spot in the order having not come up in the 6th. And as you talked about, no Brandon Morrow, so going to squeeze every ounce out of him. Bottom of the Dodgers order, Puig, and then a pinch hitter, it appears, for Ross Stripling, with Austin Barnes standing on deck. And back to the top, Cody Bellinger is now in Chris Taylor's spot. It's Amy Garcia loosening. 1 ball, 1 strike. Puig is 1 for 2. He's lined to center and he's single. One and 2.
Joe Madden asking John Lester to go out there and can you give me one more hitter? And what that does for Joe Madden is it makes Dave Roberts decide who to send up there first before Joe Madden brings in his reliever. So if they try to get the right matchup on the Dodger side, they could burn 2 players for 1 at bat.
Puig lines the ball to center field. Almora lays out, makes the catch. What a performance from this defense.
They're catching them when they're over their head in the outfield because the wind's knocking them down, and they're catching them when they're in front of them because of routes like this and aggressive play right there. No out. I'm not going to give them a single. We're going to try and get an out and do that.
Austin Barnes announced, and Joe Madden going to let John Lester keep on rolling. To the corner with strike 1.
Sometimes you'll see a manager take a pitcher out when he's on that borderline between yes or no, when the ball's hit hard, even though you get an out. So Madden trusting his veteran, even though that ball was scorched to center.
How about this? That is the 13th hard hit ball today against him, where anything above 95 miles per hour exit velocity is considered hard hit. 13 and no runs to show for all that loud noise.
Yasiel Puig has 3 of them, but only got 1 hit, 2 line outs to center.
The 2-1 to Barnes. Fly ball to right. Hayward having a hard time finding it, but does. 2 gone. A hazy time of day, the hazy clouds above. Hey, due to high demand for the Dodger Holiday Fireworks ticket special, they're now sold out of sale inventory for the July 4th game against the Pirates, but the sale is still going on for the game before July 3rd, which is also going to feature post-game fireworks courtesy of Budweiser. Get your tickets now. The sale ends tonight at midnight. Dodgers.com/USA, where you can go to find those. Lester to Cody Bellinger with a strike.
For some tickets, it's an 80% savings. I think they were starting at $10. It's quite a deal.
Bellinger on for Chris Taylor last inning. Quickly finds himself down 0-2. John Lester's thrown 10 more pitches in this outing than in any previous one this year. Two and 2.
So Madden going old school, extending his starter. Really from the necessity of losing his closer for a while on the DL.
Bellinger shoots one the other way. Schwarber makes the catch. Wasn't that pretty, but got the job done. 7 shutout innings from John Lester, and we stretch at Wrigley. Day tomorrow, then 3 with the New York Mets at Citi Field over the weekend. Friday and Sunday will be on Sportsnet LA. Saturday exclusively on Fox. Who's in, who's out? Brought to you by In and Out. Yimi Garcia replaces Ross Stripling.
He pitched an inning and his last outing, a couple hits and a walk, but 2 strikeouts got him through the inning without giving up a run. He brings in his 95-mile-an-hour fastball and a changeup and a slider in the mid-80s.
Lester now finished 7 innings, 119 pitches. He hadn't thrown more than 107 before today. Eight, 9, and 1 for the Cubs. Javier Baez to lead it off. Tommy La Stella, Joe Madden's favorite pinch hitter, will be the man to come up in Lester's spot. Garcia opens his day with a fastball that's promptly banged down the line for a hit for Baez. Extra bases into the corner. Not stopping at second. Here's the throw from Kemp. It's not in time. A leadoff triple from Baez.
Couple of doubles in his first 2 at bats. A triple on that inside fastball. Matt Kemp gets it in as soon as he can. An accurate throw. The hop skips up on him a little bit, and that's just enough for Baez with the good read in front of him to slide in there safely.
Training staff out to look at him. And at the hand.
Maybe on the slide. We're watching the feet and the tag. He's jamming his hand back on the ground as far as landing gear. Let's take a look at the hands, not the feet here. Right there when he slaps the ground with his hand.
I don't know if you saw, but he really cringed to the touch. The trainer squeezed it.
They'll teach you early on in Little League to throw your hands in the air because your natural instinct is to kind of brace yourself. Kind of put the landing gear down, feet and hands. Staying in the game though.
Watch him wince here. See him bending back. Runner at third, nobody out. Tommy La Stella, #1 pinch hitter in baseball this year. Takes ball 1. Two and 0. Flips it foul. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Baez's double in the 5th got sacrificed to third by Lester. Got thrown out at the plate from a drawn-in infield from Logan Forsythe. So he's been at third before, but in that situation there was 1 out already.
Base hit to right for La Stella, and the Cubs lead 4-0.
Logan can't get. Bloops it over second. Even if they weren't drawn in, that probably would have been a base hit.
Top of the order again. Chris Bryant 2 for 3. Cubs now with 10 hits in this game. 1-0. The 26-year-old Chris Bryant learned the game in the backyard batting cage. Hear that? So many big leaguers. His Dad, Mike, former pro player himself. Ripped to third, stopped by Turner, gets the out at second. One gets by off of the facing of the dugout. They can get him if they get there, but he's back in safely. He had committed to second, but his dive beats Muncy's tag.
Joe Madden might want to even look at the force play at second to see if Logan Forsythe cheated too much from the feed from Justin Turner. It'll be close all around. Looks safe there. There's Monty, thought maybe he gets him. Look like the umpires are going to go to the headsets, talk to New York, and take a look at a few replays.
Wouldn't this be something if there were 2 wrong calls on one play? So the word we're getting is that they're just reviewing the play at first. So this is Dave Roberts' challenge. I think they got him.
It looks like they got him, yeah.
So he is out. Similar to what happened to the Dodgers to end a game a few weeks ago, where Matt Kemp reached first but then made a move towards second. It's not about which direction you turn. That's like a common misnomer, that if you just turn to the left, that's the only way you're committing there. If you make any kind of movement towards second, which Bryant did, it doesn't matter whether or not you turn back over the right shoulder. So 2 out, the base is wiped empty. Up comes Jason Hayward. Strike 1. Base hit, beating the shift. From what you've seen from Hayward, is his change sustainable?
It looks completely different. The swing is free and easy. The hands are getting into the hitting area a lot quicker. And then even when he's there, much better extension out in front. Extension before, when he was locked up with his grip, was kind of a bar out to kind of get the hands through, but he's getting them through quicker, and then extension out front.
Dave Roberts will make a change on the mound. Amy Garcia's day is finished. We'll see who steps through that door at some point.
Game 5 of the 2017 NLCS right here at Wrigley. If you're one of the first 40,000 fans at Dodger Stadium in attendance on June 26th, when the Dodgers host these Cubs, you can have a bobblehead representing the Dodgers' pennant-clinching victory, courtesy of San Manuel Casino. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Adam Liberatore on for the 17th time in the big leagues this year, replacing Yimi Garcia.
Responding to a tough outing in Game 1 yesterday. Gave up a hit, a couple of walks, struck a guy out, and only recorded a 1 out.
The reason that Dave Roberts brings him on here is Ben Zobrist is a switch hitter and is much better from the other side. So he gets Zobrist to the side of the plate where his OPS is 200 points lower. He's got Hayward at first, 2 gone, 7th inning. Four single-run innings for the Cubs today. The first, the fourth, the fifth, and the 7th. Two and up. There's a strike. Bounce back to Liberatore. We'll get Zobrist to finish the Cubs in the 7th. Dodgers presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. A frustrating day for the Dodgers at Wrigley Field. A lot of hard-hit balls, Ned, but nothing to show for it so far.
You got John Lester, you got the wind blowing in. Not a good combination.
All right, a lot of work to do for the Dodgers. Ned, Nomar will break it down after the game. Alana has reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you soon.
All right, John, and right now Alana has an update on Chris Taylor.
Yeah, Joe originally thought Chris Taylor may have been removed because of fouling that pitch off of the ankle in the first inning. It looks like he actually was removed because of left hamstring tightness, just a precautionary move, but left hamstring tightness is why Chris Taylor's no longer in there.
Okay, Alana, a couple defensive changes to report. Javier Baez moves from short to second, and Addison Russell is in the game in his place at short. Anthony Bass, the man that Joe Madden chooses, his 6th game in a Cubs uniform. Facing 2, 3, and 4, delivering strike 1 to Kike Hernandez. Well, normally you get 7 shutout innings thrown against you. You say anybody but him, anybody but the guy that threw the 7 shutout innings, but it felt like it was only a matter of time before they were able to somebody across against Lester, who gave up 2 hard-hit balls per inning over 7 shutout frames.
It's like a rope-a-dope in boxing, and your arms just get tired of hitting the ball hard. It's been a lot easier just to hit it easy and find some holes. John Lester, over his last 4 starts, in 3 of the 4, 7 innings, no runs.
Hernandez with a bullet down the line. That is a fair ball into the corner. Different pitcher, same result. A hard hit ball and a leadoff double for Kike Hernandez.
Down by 4 now. The Dodgers really can't wait till the 9th to come back, so they've got to use both of these frames. Start pushing somebody across the plate.
Justin Turner 0 for 2 with a walk. And just another testament to, I hate to call it unimpressive, but by 7 shutout inning standards, how unimpressive the 7 shutout innings were. He only struck out 1, walked 3. The bottom line is a bunch of zeros. 1 ball, no strikes on Turner as the Dodgers try to rally from behind in this series rubber match and keep the unbeaten series streak going. Right now 9 series in a row without a defeat. Ball 2.
Over the long term, if you were going to take one offense over the other on how they perform today as far as just hitting the ball and approach, I take the Dodgers. If they were playing in a traditionally fair ballpark, I think they would be outproducing the Cubs.
Turner lines one to second. Baez has it. Double play.
A little bit of bad luck and a little bit of aggressive base running. That one step when you're down by 4, you've got a freeze on the line drive. Don't get doubled up, and frustration at the plate with Justin Turner and a lot of the Dodger hitters hitting it hard.
Perhaps the last chance for Matt Kemp to get his first hit of the series. 0 for 10. Start the Javi chant for Javier Baez, who's got 2 doubles and a triple and a bunch of nice defensive plays. Oh, and 2. got him. Despite a promising start, just an 11-pitch inning for Anthony Bass, and 4-0 to the bottom of the 8th. Buyers SoCal Land Rover retailers. Final hours in Chicago for the Dodgers this season. They're going to hit the road for New York after the game and welcome the Cubs into LA next week. Adam Liberatore stays on for Anthony Rizzo and misses ball 1. If the thing winds up how it's looking, 4-0 Cubs, and pretty frustrating day for the Dodgers. The silver lining is that you get another shot at him very quickly. Two and out.
Here, this ball just gets away from him a little bit, hits him on the wallet, he'll be fine.
Leadoff man on for Albert Almora. Who is lifelong friends with Manny Machado, which is a bit of an interesting wrinkle in that whole sweepstakes. So close that they call each other cousins. Almora was a groomsman in Manny's wedding. Ground ball to second. Forsythe smothers it but has no play. That time of year when you start hearing discussions about trades and what teams need. The discussion around here is that they're not really sure what they need at this point. The weakness statistically has been the starting pitching, but that was supposed to be a big strength coming in. They hope that Chatwood and Darvish are both going to be different guys moving forward. How do you feel about all the talk that has been spread around about Manny Machado perhaps winding up a Cub?
I think they're going to need pitching. Right now, Yu Darvish threw his simulated game today. It looked like he wasn't quite ready yet. He was getting hit around a little bit. Looked like he was still tinkering with things.
2 out, nobody out. Kyle Schwarber. Ball one.
So it would be Addison Russell that would be kind of in trouble as far as employment right then. Yep. Manny Machado on any roster is a big win.
A need? No, not here.
I don't think so. Not what you're going to have to give up.
And remember, just a rental. Perhaps it helps you negotiating with him being a free agent this offseason, but maybe not.
If you knew you were going to pay him an astronomical amount of money in the offseason, you might as well give up a prospect or two and pay him that money right away. Want to sign an extension? Sign him right then. So get rid of free agency.
Scott Boras has said no way.
Yeah.
1-2 as Schwarber chases back-to-back Liberatore sliders. And it's not like Addison Russell is a bad player. He's hitting close to 300. He was an all-star a couple of years ago. Used to be the top prospect. Runners take off. Grandal throws to second as Almora gets caught up. Hernandez tags him out. Rizzo to third. One away.
As Monty Grandal did a nice job on which base to throw to right there. He also did a nice job picking this ball in the dirt. And Kike Hernandez using his legs and speed to get this over in a hurry without a throw.
Now a strikeout can put Liberatore on the verge of getting out of this inning. Misses badly and the count is full. It's a walk. And that's it for Liberatore. Hit a batter, gave up a single and issued a walk, and now Dave Roberts going to come take it from him. Try to keep it 4-0 with runners at the corners and 1 out. Within relative striking distance. It's 4-0 right now as he comes on to pitch.
He's been on a roll lately. Last few outings, no earned runs, striking out more than a man an inning, and that's what the Dodgers are going to need right here probably to prevent a run. Strike out, pop up, Daniel here to keep it at 4-0 and give him a shot in the 9th.
5, 6, and 7 due up. We'll see who it's against. With Brandon Moore on the disabled list and the lead at 4 at this point. Joe Madden will pretty much have his choice. Hudson to face Wilson Contreras, who's the only Cub today without a hit. It's the only spot in the order without a hit. And 0 for 7 in this series. Strike one. Contreras out of Venezuela. Signed when he was 16, 2009. First time that he'd ever boarded a plane was to fly to the Cubs facility in Arizona. Major League debut June of 2016. It was an anticipated one. He turned into one of their top prospects. And he literally wasted no time. First pitch that he saw as a big leaguer, he homered on. Lays a bunt down. Muncy's going to come home with it to cut down Rizzo. Well, they've gotten a couple of Cubs at the plate today. 2 away in the 8th.
Muncy read the bunt quickly. When he sees the square, he is charging. Then the hard bunt made it a little bit easier, but the initial read on the bunt, that break right there at first, then tracking the ball. Nice easy throw after that. They're waiting a little bit. Joe Madden waiting to see the replay. They're saying play on. And if the foot got in there, was Monty out in front. Can never be too careful.
Yeah, in this day and age, no play is safe. 2 on, 2 out. Javier Baez, 2 doubles and a triple today. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. The sun's starting to come out for the first time. It's been cloudy and hazy. Fog in off the lake.
Baez got himself in a running for an all-star selection, possibly as an extra.
Yeah, early it looked like he was a lock. Below 200 in June coming in. He was leading the league in slugging for the first month and a half. Third full year as a big leaguer. 25 years old. Dribbles one in front of the plate. Grandal throws him out. And the Dodgers able to put up a 0 here in the 8th. Nice shot by Daniel Hudson to get out of that. See if the offense can make some magic. Down 4-0. for the Cubs. The Dodgers now their last 7 games, 15 runs. On the verge of getting shut out here.
A lot of frustration. I don't think Turner Ward and the hitting department will change a lot. Just need to go play in a ballpark where the wind's not blowing in. Turner's done a fine job. Dodgers known for the home run ball of late, over the last month or so. And he will tell you that they haven't changed a thing. They're just executing a little better, but not specifically trying to hit the long ball, just hit the ball hard.
They've now been shut out since May 6th. Not lost a series since mid-May. Won the opener yesterday, dramatic fashion, down to their final strike on that Kyle Farmer pinch hit double, 4-3. Cubs returned the favor with a 2-1 win in 10 innings last night. They've been in command in this one, 4-0 to the 9th. Logan Forsythe, 1 for 3. Chops the first pitch of the inning to Chris Bryant. 1 out. Rare first pitch swing from Forsythe. Done that 5 or 6 times in about 140 plate appearances this year. 1 out for Max Muncy. Double and a walk. Take strike 1. Another 2. The Mets, who the Dodgers are about to play, they've won 3 of 4 after losing 12 of 13. Well, the Mets started the season 11-1, but the worst team in the National League since then. Likely sellers going into the deadline. Muncy on the ground to Rizzo. And the Dodgers down to their final out. Before they head off to New York for 3 with the Mets.
Couple of squeakers yesterday, could have went either way. The doubleheader getting split. This one falling the Cubs' way here with 1 out left. Dodgers will need to kind of rescue the road trip in New York.
Grandal pops it back and out of play. One of the guys we're going to see this weekend on Saturday is going to be one of the hot names as the trade deadline approaches, and Jacob deGrom, who the Mets have basically said they're open to hearing offers on, but taking a load to get him
under control for a couple more years. And that adds a player or 2 just there.
That's caught by Bryant at third, and a fitting way for this one to end. Dodgers dropped their first series since mid-May as the Cubs take this one 4-0.
Over a dozen hard-hit balls coming off the Dodger bats today, but they couldn't find holes. And if they were going to find holes or get over the fence, the wind knocked it down. Frustrating day for the offense.
Play of the game brought to you by Lexus, one of the many dazzling defensive plays for the Cubs. Jason Hayward showing off that arm when the game was still very tight, throwing out Chris Taylor. Well, you could have taken your pick from a bunch of these kinds of plays today for the top defensive team in baseball. For Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Chicago. But the Cubs take this series 2-1. The Dodgers won't have to wait long to exact revenge, or at least attempt to, as the Cubs come in for a 4-game series next Monday. But the road trip for now continues to New York. We'll talk to you from Citi Field on Friday. For now, stay tuned. It's Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.